So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to day 5 of CSI sponsored workshop on Internet of Medical Things, Challenges and Solutions. So, today we have a dynamic speaker, Dr. Sanjeet Kumar Nayak. So, before Dr. Sanjeet Kumar Nayak will deliver the invited talk, so let me tell you about Sanjeet Kumar Nayak. Let me introduce our guest for today's session, right? So, Dr. Sanjeet Kumar Nayak received the BTech degree in Computer Science and Engineering from Biju Patnaik University of Technology, Odisha, India, in the year of 2010, and MTech degree in Computer Science and Engineering with specialization Information Security from National Institute of Technology, Raurkela, in the year of 2013, and PhD degree in Computer Science Engineering from Indian Institute of Technology, IIT, Patna, India, in 2019. Currently, he is working as an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science Engineering at Bennett University. So, Bennett University is situated at New Delhi, India, and it is belongs to the Times of India group. You know that the Times of India is one of the leading group in all over the India. So, Bennett University belongs to Times of India group. He also worked as an assistant professor at Manipal University, Jaipur, BITS Pilani, Hyderabad campus, and some other places also. So his research interests include security and privacy issues in the cloud data storage, security and privacy issues in the Internet of Things environment, image encryption using lightweight techniques, blind signature schemes, recent techniques like blockchain also, and smart contracts. So you see, all the specializations are belong to the security domain. So I hope Dr. Sanjeet will highlight the security aspect of this Internet of Medical Things, which is an emerging area. He has also published many conferences indexed in core ranking journal, that is the top conferences in all over the world, and many journals in international repute like IEEE Transactions, Elsevier, and Springer. Besides these research profile, he also serves as a reviewer of many IEEE transaction papers, journals, or IEEE journals also, journals of Elsevier also, and Springer as well. He is a member of IEEE and ACN. During his PhD tenure, he was awarded from late Sushma Swaraj ji, the Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India, for achieving first position in the technical poster competition during Global Conference of CyberSec 2017, organized by Ministry of Electronics Information Technology, Government of India. Also, he has received prize for the Long Stanford Lesson Writing Award for graduated students from IEEE Computer Society in the year of 2018. Apart from that, he also holds so many positions, administrative positions at Bennett University. So with this small introduction, I would like to invite Dr. Sanjeet to give his invited talk. Dr. Sanjeet, please.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Panda, for nice introduction. And I would like to thank all the office bearers of Computer Society of India for organizing this workshop on Internet of Medical Things, Challenges and Solutions. My special thanks goes to Professor B.K. Mishra sir for organizing this workshop. And so now I will share my screen. Just Dr. Panda, just confirm me whether it is visible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So I hope my screen is visible, I guess. Can somebody confirm me?
Yes, yes. You
Okay.
show your slide, sir. Yes, it is coming. It is coming now.
Okay, fine. Okay. Okay, so I want to give my presentation on the topic security challenges in computation over electronic health records. So before starting to this topic, I just want to give some introduction about cryptography, because I don't know what are the knowledge of the audience, so that's why I thought let us keep 2-3 slides on cryptography. So what is cryptography? Cryptography, it is a secure communication in an insecure channel. So what is the objective? Our objective is to send data in the presence of adversary. So see here, so we have a sender who has a message and he want to transmit this message in an insecure channel. Okay, so there are a lot of adversary present here. Then the recipient will get that message. How recipient will get that message? So we want to establish a secure communication between sender and the receiver. So that is the goal of cryptography. And in cryptography we have two kinds of cryptography primarily. One is known as private key cryptography, and the second one is known as public key cryptography. In private key cryptography, what we do, so sender and receiver, they share a common key, okay, and the key is shared in a secure channel. This is our assumption in private key cryptography, that key is shared between sender and receiver, and that is a common key. Then apart from this, the encryption algorithm is known to all, and the process is as follows. So we give a plain text message, and the same secret key which is shared between the sender and the receiver, that is K. See here, sender is also having K and the recipient is also having K. Now the plain text X is given to the sender and the as well as the key. So he will encrypt the message using some encryption algorithm. It may be AES or DES, or there are a lot of encryption algorithms are available. So what they will do, they will encrypt it, and the encryption algorithm is public. So then they will transmit the ciphertext in a insecure channel, okay, that is Y. Y is encryption of X using K. Okay, K is the shared secret key. Then it will be deciphered by the decryptor. How he will do it? So he has the key, the same key. Then he will use the same key and he will decrypt it using he will decrypt the message Y, that is the ciphertext, using the same key K, and he will eventually recover X. So this is what we say private key cryptography. And in private key cryptography, so what is the takeaway from private key cryptography? It is like the key is shared in a secure channel. There is a common key. So the key with which we do the encryption is the same key with which we will decrypt the message. Okay, so this is what is private key cryptography. And simultaneously we have another cryptography that is known as public key cryptography. In public key cryptography, what happens, the person who wants to send a message will have a public key ring. Okay, so in this public key ring, he will keep the public key of all his friends to whom he may send message in future. So Bob is having a public key of Joy, then Mike, then Alice and Ted. So what he will do, Bob, he will simply take the public key of Alice and the plain text as the input to the encryption algorithm. Then what he will do, he will encrypt this message X using PUA, that is the public key of Alice, and he will transmit the message in the insecure channel, and the message that is transmitted in the channel is Y. Now what will happen, as soon as Alice receives this message, so what she will do, she will decrypt the message using her own private key. This PRA, this key is only known to Alice. Okay, nobody else has access to this private key. But in contrast to public key, everybody know what is the public key of Alice. So then what Alice will do, Alice will decrypt the message using using her private key, and she will recover the message, that is plain text message, which was sent by Alice. Sorry, Bob. Okay, So this is what a public key cryptography. In public key cryptography, what we do generally, we have two key. Everybody has two keys. So one key is used for encryption, the public key. So other recipients, what other members, what they will do, they will simply encrypt the message using the public key, and whenever the recipient receives it, so what he or she will do, she will use her own private key to decrypt it. Okay, so this is what are two kinds of cryptography in for secure communication. One is public key cryptography and the other one is private key cryptography. Okay, so this is just a another diagram. Okay, so like the same thing what I mentioned. So the public key is given to the source A, then source A will use the message that is X, and encryption algorithm is given to them. So what they will do, the public key and X is given to this algorithm, and this algorithm will generate the ciphertext that is Y. Then what will happen, the at the destination it will use the private key. Okay, so PRB is the private key of the destination. It will use the private key and it will decrypt the message. Okay, so generally in cryptography, what we do, because the public key cryptography consists of so many mathematical operations, so what we do generally, we transmit the key using public key cryptography because it is time consuming, and then once the key is shared, then we use the private key cryptography to send the messages. So this is the basic introduction that I want to give about the cryptography. So now let us come to the outline of my talk. Okay, so I will give you a brief introduction about the medical things. What are the things that why we will go for security aspects of medical things, all the motivations that I will give you. Then I will give you some preliminaries related, means how we will solve a problem related to medical things. When we have stored the medical things in the cloud, uh, and obviously we will encrypt the data, because you all know that data in the cloud is not secure. So we will encrypt the data and we will store it in the cloud. Then I will discuss how we will perform some computation over the data that is stored in the cloud. Okay, how to perform computation over the medical data, so that I will tell. Then I will go to our proposed scheme, then some future directions I will give. Okay, so this is outline of my talk. Then, so recently, the chairman of Reliance Group, Mukesh Ambani ji, what he told that data is the new oil. Okay, again I am repeating, he told data is the new oil. So now everything whatever we will do is based on data. So that is the big statement given by him in I think in 2019. So after that, suppose we now every company is storing the data, then what they are doing, so what we will do with the data. So there are 5 questions that I want to highlight here. So what we will do with the data. So the first question is how to get the data. So we will get the data using sensors. Okay, so this is the first thing. So many people are doing research on this area. So how to get the data using sensors, how efficiently we can get the data, what are the locations where we will put the sensors so that we can get the maximum data using minimum number of sensors. So this is a one problem in which people are working. Then the next problem is how data will be communicated. Now once the data is with sensor nodes, the data, how that data will be transmitted. Why we want to transmit the data? Because the sensor nodes are having less computation as well as storage capacity. So that's why we need to transmit the data. Where we will transmit the data? We will transmit the data to cloud server. Why we will send it to cloud server? Because cloud server has enormous it has storage capacity and computation, so we will send it to cloud server. Now once the data is stored in the cloud server, see there are many research going on, how the data will be managed in cloud, how the data will be communicated, which channel we will use. So each and every statement that I wrote here is a topic of research. Then okay, so now once the data is stored in the cloud, what to do? So why we are storing the data? Because we want to analyze those data and want to get some conclusion. Okay, so how we will do that? Again, we will use some machine learning techniques, and now people have come up with deep learning techniques, so you can use that. So again, we told that we will transmit the data, we will store the data, all these things we told, but how to securely transmit the data? Okay, so this is also challenging, because if we will send some sensitive data in the presence of adversary, then it may lead to attack. So that's why we will use some cryptography technique here to transmit, to secure the data in the transmission as well as in the storage. So these are 5 questions related to data. So just to summarize, so what, how to get the data, how the data will be communicated, where the data will be stored, what to do with the data, and how to securely transmit the data. So these are the 5 big questions with data. Recently in his uh, uh, Independence Day speech, our Honorable Prime Minister Sri Modi ji, what he told, he announces a national digital health mission. So in this, what will happen? Each and every person's health record will be maintained in a server. Somewhere they will store the data. And what will happen? What is the advantage? So like suppose some diagnosis you have done in city A. Now if you are traveling to city B, then the data can be accessed by the doctors of city B. Okay, so no need to do the same tests again. So it will like digitization of the health records. So that's why this is a emerging topic nowadays, and a lot of work has to be done in case of digital health record, because see, whenever we are storing physically data, there is less chance of attack and all these things. But now whenever we are storing the data in digital format, lot of challenges will come, and many people has to give the solution for these challenges. So this is recently our prime minister announces this. And then see, who are the stakeholder of this health ID? See, hospitals, laboratories, insurance companies, online pharmacies, telemedicines, all these are the who will use the health ID. Okay, so now see, whatever access we will give to hospitals, we will not give the same access to insurance companies. Okay, so somebody has to come up with access control here. Now the data we are telling that we will keep it in encrypted format. Now how the data will be deciphered by the doctors, all those things come into picture once we are storing the data in the digital format. So this is a hot topic nowadays in India. Many research proposals will come, many researcher will focus on this area. So that's why this is a hot topic nowadays. Okay, so we are telling that we will store the data in cloud or some servers, and many companies will give us the storage. As we know, cloud storage is there, many companies are storing the data in the cloud. Then what about the protection of the data? So in the year 2018, on May 25th, European Union, they passes this regulation in the assembly, that is European Data Protection Regulation. Okay, why they did it? So to harmonize the data privacy laws across Europe. So what are the general things they told in this GDPR? In short, we say GDPR. So the first thing is in Article 7, 8, 9 and 22, you will get that consent of the individual is very much important. So without the consent of the individual, you cannot do anything with the data. Then each and every company has to keep a data protection officer. So what is the job of this data protection officer? He or she will try how the data will be secured, or he will try to manage the data so that there will not be any leak in the privacy of the data. So this is a beautiful article, that is article 37. If you will go through the article 37, you will read about this position, and many companies will now come up with this post. Then in article 32 of GDPR, so it is mentioned that each and every sensitive data of a user will be encrypted and then it will be stored. Okay, so encryption is a must whenever we are storing a personal data. Then suppose there is a leak in the data, then what will happen? So some fine will be imposed on that company, and some penalties the company has to pay to the user. So all these things are mentioned in article 83. Then these are the fundamental rights given to the user. So the first one is right of access. So user will tell whom he want to give the access of his data. So without his consent, you cannot give the data to somebody else. The next thing is right to be informed. So suppose if you are giving the data to somebody else, the company has to inform the user that I want to give the data to this company, or the data has been leaked, something. So all the information related to his data will be communicated to the user. The next thing is right to be forgotten. So here suppose I have stored five images related to my CT scan. Then in article 17 they told that if you are telling the cloud service provider to delete the data, he has to delete the data. He cannot store my data. And if somebody or by some other source, we or government come to know that after my written permission still the company is having my data after 5 or 10 years, then penalties will be imposed on that company. So these are the this is a very big topic. Okay, general data protection regulation. And if you will go to this link, you can read about all these articles, and they have also summarized versions of these articles is also available, in which you can read about what is right to access, right of access, right to be informed, all these things that they have mentioned. So this is what general data protection regulation in European Union. But if we will come to India, then also on December 11th 2019, our IT minister Sri Ravi Shankar Prasad ji, he proposed the Indian personal data protection bill in the Lok Sabha. Okay, so this is the tweet by him. So she introduced the personal data protection bill in the Lok Sabha today. So this is a historic legislation which seeks to protect personal data and privacy of Indian citizens in digital age. So see, if you will go to this personal data protection bill, and it is given in this link. So these are the summary of all the Lok Sabha bills you can find here. And if you will go to this link, then you will find several chapters, like 1 to I think 14 or 15 chapters are there. And in that, each and every issues are mentioned in detail. Like if you will go to chapter 5, you can see, so limitation on collection of personal data. If it is required, then you should uh, take the personal data, right? So suppose I am using one app which does not need my location information, then he should not take. So this is what is mentioned here. Then right to correction and eraser, that means what? So it is the uh, right of a person to correct his personal data, and whenever he want to erase his data, he can erase it. He will just make a request to the company, erase my data, so data will be erased. Then the next thing is right to be forgotten. So this is the same thing that I explained in GDPR. Then we the same in the GDPR we have a data protection officer, and similarly we have a data protection officer in Indian bill, also Indian personal data protection bill. Then again, penalties and compensation, this is also mentioned in chapter X. So a lot of things are same with GDPR, and you can go to this link and you can see all this information there. And so this is a just a summary from a source, that is Mint Research, where you will see what it means for consumers. So data can be processed or shared by any entity only after the consent. See, consent is very much important while dealing with the personal data. Then, like government, what government's role in this protection bill and what companies have to do. Okay, so all these things are there. See, data breach or inaction will entail a fine of 5 crore or 2% of global turnover. So see how much fine they will impose if you will leak the personal data. So this is a big advancement by the Indian government while proposing Indian personal data protection bill. Okay, so these are the things related to how to protect the data in Indian context. I also explained in European Union. So all those are in European Union it is implemented. In India it will be implemented soon. So really, the data, the personal data, whenever you are storing, it has to be, means the company has to provide security for that data. Okay, the next thing is so Pradhan Mantri ji, again on his Independence Day speech, he announced that India will soon have a new cyber security policy. So there will be a policy how we will secure the data, how, what are the advisory to the companies, what are the advisories to the users. So all these things will be provided in this cyber security policy. So again, this is a new area and lot of research work has to be done to make the cyberspace secure. Okay, so with this basic introduction, I want to give you some case studies here. Like, so we are telling that we will store, we will encrypt the data. Now, why we will encrypt the data? So see here. So these are few persons who are having a ECG sensors. Okay, so a sensor is embedded in their body, and what is the job of this ECG sensor? So it will just collect the heart data. Okay, so once it is given to this mobile devices, then the ECG data will simply go in this channel, that is wireless channel, to the cloud storage server, and from this cloud storage server the doctor will access the data. Okay, so what is the main issue here? If we will transmit the data in the plain text, see, the first thing is my ECG data should not be leaked in public, right? The next thing is, if some of my enemy got to know that I have a heart problem, then they can do something so that I cannot stop them from entering my house or something like that. If they will know that my heart is weak or something like that, then they can do lot of things with me. So that's why it is very much necessary that we should encrypt we should encrypt the data which is very much sensitive to us. Okay, so here I wrote that privacy is lost here. Okay, so what is the solution we will give? Okay, we will share a key between the doctor and the patient, and now what we will do, we will encrypt the data. So each and every individual user, they will have a shared key with the doctor. So this shared key is, like I mentioned in the private key cryptography. Okay, the same thing, same technique will be used here. And what they will do, they will simply encrypt the data, and now they will send the data to the cloud, and from the cloud doctor will access the data, he will decrypt the data, and he will give the information. So this is a simple solution, so it can be implemented. But does it solve the problem? In fact, not all the problems. So suppose the cloud want to compute over the data, then how cloud will compute over that data? So this is a challenging problem, how to compute over the encrypted data. So here you see, so all the data that ECG sensors they are sending, so all these data are stored in the cloud storage server in the encrypted format. Now suppose there is there is a NGO who wants to know the answer of this question. And what is that question? So what is the percentage of people with normal cardiac behavior in the age group 20 to 35? So this is this NGO wants to do a survey work, and what he wants to do, he wants to find the percentage of people with normal cardiac behavior in the age group 20 to 35. So how uh, the cloud server will answer this question? Now there is a lot of debate whether this is a valid question. So I will say yes, it is a valid question. So we should know uh, how many percentage of people are affected by heart disease. So but who are affected by that heart disease, that we should not know. So like if you will see in the coronavirus case nowadays, so we can know uh, how many percentage of people in a particular city are affected by coronavirus, that we can know. But who are the individuals, that is a secret information. People are not, or the government is not disclosing that information. So like this. Okay, so what is the percentage of people with normal cardiac behavior in the age group 20 to 35? So to answer this question, so cloud server should be able to answer this question. So now we will see how this question can be answered. Okay, so uh, again, here what we have to do, we have to answer this question by preserving the privacy of the individuals. Okay, we have to preserve the privacy of each and every individual, that we have to do. So how we will do? So computing on the encrypted data, we have to do the computation on encrypted data. So for this we have a beautiful technique in cryptography which we can do. So see what we means, I mean, what is the objective? So I will send my encrypted data to the cloud. Now I will give the function, that is f, I want to do on this data. Then cloud server will do the same function on the encrypted data, and which is same as what, if I will do the function on the data and if I will do the encryption. Okay, so just to clear you, like what is and this technique is known as homomorphic encryption. Okay, so what is homomorphic encryption? Operation on the plain text. Okay, whatever operation I want to perform on the plain text, it is same as what, if I will do the operation on the encrypted data and then I will decrypt. Okay, so what I am telling, the encrypted plain text is stored in the cloud, then cloud will do the operation on this, and if I will decrypt that data, then what should I get? I will get operation on the plain text. So this is what is known as homomorphic encryption. And with this introduction of homomorphic encryption, I want to give an analogy so that you can understand it better. Okay, what is homomorphic encryption? So see, Alice wants workers to assemble these raw materials into jewelry. So these are some raw materials. Okay, and Alice wants that this person, okay, so this person should assemble all these raw materials and make a jewelry. But Alice is worried about the theft. Okay, so she wants workers to process the raw materials without having access to them. Okay, so how Alice will do that? So see, so Alice will purchase a box here. Okay, so inside this box there is a like globes. Okay, so you cannot uh, take your hand beyond these globes. Okay, so you cannot take the data, that is take the raw materials from this. Okay, so the globes is embedded inside this box. So like nowadays the COVID swab people are collecting, it is the similar kind of box. Okay, so then what will happen, Alice will just put all these raw materials inside the box. Then what she will do, she will put a lock and she will take the key. Then this person will come, put his hand inside this, make the raw material, okay, using the globes, and then Alice will come and just take out the jewelry from this box. Okay, so this is what a perfect analogy of homomorphic encryption. Okay, so here I want to show that Alice does not want to give the all the raw materials directly to this person. Okay, so uh, this person can make the jewelry and he can run away. Okay, so Alice, what Alice will do, so this is a method in which Alice can get the jewelry from the raw material. Okay, so this is a perfect analogy of homomorphic encryption, and I will give you some examples also. Okay, so just wait for 1-2 seconds. Then what are the types of homomorphic encryption? So generally there are two types of homomorphic encryption. So the first one is additive homomorphic encryption. Okay, so in additive homomorphic encryption, what is the encryption of M1 and M2? It is same as encryption of M1 plus encryption of M2. So similarly, in multiplicative homomorphic encryption, what happens? The encryption of x and y, x dot y, can be obtained by operating on encryption of x and encryption of y. So what is the meaning? If I will multiply the encrypted M1 with encrypted M2, and if I will give to somebody, and if he will decrypt, then he will get M1 into M2. Okay, if he will decrypt the result of this operation, he will get M1 into M2. So let us see one example. Okay, so here I want to give you one example of multiplicative homomorphic encryption. Okay, so in case of multiplicative homomorphic encryption, RSA Cryptosystem is a beautiful example which supports multiplicative homomorphic encryption but not additive homomorphic encryption. Okay, so see here. So this is the question. Okay, so what is the area? I want to find the area, that is width equal to 7 and height equal to 3. Now there is a area solver in this cloud. Okay, so there is a area solver. Then I do not want to give the exact value of height and width to this area solver, but I want the result. How I will do it? So let us see. So these are the some security parameters of RSA Cryptosystem, that is public key is 23 and 143 and private key is 47 and 143. So due to time constraint, I am not explaining how I got these data, but let us assume that I have a public key and a private key. Now what will happen? So I will encrypt my width. Okay, so if I will encrypt my width, I will get the data, that is 2. Okay, so if I will encrypt 7, I got 2. Then what I will do, I will encrypt height and I will get 126. Then what will happen? This 2 and 126 I will send to the area solver. Then area solver will do what? It will just multiply these two data. It does not know what is the exact value of width and what is the exact value of height. What it will do, it will simply multiply those two data and it will get 252. Then this 252, once the this entity, like who wants to find the area, if he got, then what he will do, then he will decrypt 252 and he will get 21. Okay, so now what is 21? It is 7 into 3. Okay, so see here, like we didn't tell the area solver what is the exact value of height and width, but we got the value, that is 21. Okay, so here you may ask me, like Sanjeet, why why you are sending all these value to this area server. In fact, why we are doing all this computation, we can directly multiply here and we will get the value, right? So this is a toy example that I gave you, but see, suppose a lot of multiplication if I want to do, then I do not have sufficient computation power, so that's why I am outsourcing that to the cloud. Okay, so this is the answer to that question. Now I will give you one example of additive homomorphic encryption, and this Pailier Cryptosystem supports additive homomorphic encryption, and the previous one that I explained, that supports what, multiplicative homomorphic encryption. Okay, so now let us see. Again, I am not going into detail of this encryption mechanism. So what I will do, I will show you an example. So I want to find the perimeter of a triangle, okay, and the three sides are 7, 3 and 8. So how I will find the perimeter? So these are the security parameters. Again, I am not discussing them. Okay, so see, so first step is what I will do, I will encrypt these three sides. Okay, so I got 2028, 3468 and 1499 with respect to sides A, B and C. So these are the ciphertext corresponding to side A, side B and side C. So once I have supplied all these values to the perimeter solver, now perimeter solver cannot know what is the exact value of side A, side B and side C. So what this perimeter solver will do, it will just multiply these data and it will give the number to this to us. Okay, so now what we will do, we will decrypt this data and we will get, if I will decrypt it correctly, then I will get the data that is 18. Okay, so what is 18? 18 is same as 7 plus 3 plus 8. Okay, that is 18. So see here, like I have shown you two examples, beautiful examples, how to do multiplicative homomorphic encryption and how to do additive homomorphic encryption using so the multiplicative homomorphic encryption, for that what crypto system we used? We used RSA Cryptosystem, and for additive homomorphic encryption we used Pailier Cryptosystem. Okay, so this is what homomorphic encryption, and this can help us, this whatever I have explained till now, this can help me in solving the question that I raised you before 5-6 slides. What was the question? The question was, can the NGO compute how many number of heart patients are there in the age group 20 to 35, okay, in a particular city? So the data will be in encrypted format and the cloud server has to give the answer to this question. Okay, so the same problem I can if I will try to solve using homomorphic encryption, I can do it. Okay, but there is one assumption here. What is the assumption I took? I took the assumption that all the data owners share a common key. So if you have remembered correctly, then what I did, using the same key, I am encrypting all the sides, that is side A, side B and side C. Okay, suppose all these three sides, they don't want to share a key, then what will happen? How you will solve this problem? Okay, so I will not share my key with my friend, sorry, another entity from some other college or something like that. Okay, so that I don't want to share. Like you can suppose I am a heart patient, my another patient is also there from other city, he is also a heart patient, we both are in the same hospital, suppose, let us, then I will not share the key, because if I will share the key, then my friend will know what is, he can decrypt my data and he can know what is the condition of my heart. So that data I don't want to give to my friend. In fact, I want to give it to the doctor, that is not a problem, but I don't want to give to this other people. So each and every individual persons, they don't want to share the key. then how we will solve this problem? Okay, so that is a challenging task. Okay, so in fact, whatever we have discussed till now, it has not solved all the problems that is related to computation over the medical data. So by medical data, I am telling this heart ECG sensors data. It can be any other data. Okay, so that doesn't make any change to the objective of this problem. Okay, so see, just a to to tell all of you how this is a realistic problem. See, like we have three hospitals in the city of Bhubaneswar, that is Kalinga Hospital and Apollo Hospital, and we have a Institute of Medical Science and some hospital. Okay, so some hospital, Apollo Hospital and Kalinga Hospital. Okay, so these three hospitals, they told that okay, we will store our data health record in cloud storage server. Okay, so now suppose one NGO wants to find the answer. Okay, the same question: what are the total number of patients present in the hospitals of BBSR that are suffering from cancers or that are suffering from AIDS or some other disease? Okay, so each and every individual hospital, they will not uh, tell their exact data. Okay, but why they don't want to tell? Because they are doing some business. They don't want to tell that I have only 5 patients for this particular disease, then it will give a bad reputation of that hospital, so they will not reveal this data. But in fact, they will encrypt the data and they will store it in the cloud. So they will then how this cloud server will give the answer to this particular question? Okay, so can we answer by preserving the privacy of individual hospitals? Okay, so we will not share the key. Okay, if the solution is like if there is a assumption that okay, those three hospitals will share the key, then we can use the previous technique, okay, that I told. Like suppose one Kalinga hospital, it has three branches in three different city, like one in Bhubaneswar, one is Jharkhand, one in Kolkata, then they can share the key. That I mean, there is no problem in that. And if that is the case, the first thing we can do, whatever I have explained, like homomorphic encryption with a single shared key, we can do, we will get the answer. That is absolutely fine. But suppose this is the problem, like they don't want to share the key with each and every individual hospital, still they want to answer this question. They want to help the cloud service provider in answering this question. How they will do it? So all the data owners, what they will do? So like data owners, by data owners I mean the individual hospitals. So what they will do, they will encrypt the data and they will store it in the cloud storage server. Okay, so they will encrypt it with their own individual public key and they will store it in the cloud storage server. Now data, the encrypted data is stored in the cloud. Now they want to perform a function over this data. Okay, so that function can be addition operation, it can be multiplication operation, it can be logarithm, it can be exponential, so lot of functions. Okay, so any, this is a general function they want to do over this data. Okay, then so how they will do it? Okay, so what is the question here? Data owners do not trust other data owners easily. Okay, so they will not trust because of the business issue that I mentioned earlier, and they will encrypt their data with different keys. So each and every individual data owner or the hospitals, they will encrypt their data with their own individual key. So now how we can solve this problem? Okay, so for this we have a beautiful technique in cryptography, that is proxy re-encryption. So if we will use proxy re-encryption and if we will solve this, can we solve this problem using proxy re-encryption? In fact, the answer is yes. So just to give you a brief introduction, what is proxy re-encryption? So it is like, so my data is encrypted in a public key. Okay, so the data is encrypted with the public key of Alice, and then this proxy server, what this proxy server will do, it will convert this data to a format so that Bob can decrypt it. Okay, so again I am repeating. Okay, so this is a crypto system which allows a third party to alter a cipher text which has been encrypted for one party so that it may be decrypted by other. So see, if this data is encrypted using Alice public key, then Alice can decrypt it, right? Now I want to give the facility to Bob so that Bob can decrypt this data. Okay, so how Bob will do this? So for this purpose we can use proxy re-encryption. Okay, so this is a beautiful technique in cryptography. So how we will incorporate or we will fuse the homomorphic encryption technique with proxy re-encryption technique so that we can solve the problem that I mentioned in the previous slide. Okay, so for this we proposed a proxy re-encryption scheme. Okay, so this is again a our own proposal. I am not going to detail of this proxy re-encryption scheme. Okay, so this is, you can find this paper in this link. Okay, so I will just give you how we have solved this problem, why we come up with this proxy re-encryption technique, that I will tell you. Okay, so see, each and every individual data owner, they will encrypt their data using their own key and they will store it in the cloud. Then cloud storage server has all the data. Then what cloud storage server want to do, it will convert each and every individual data with a common public key. Okay, and what is that common public key? Which is that entity? That entity is a proxy server. Okay, so that entity is a proxy server. So now what will happen? The proxy server, what this proxy server and the cloud storage server, what they will do, they will simply now each and every data is encrypted with a common key. See, so now we can do the operations, right, that I explained with the area and perimeter. We can do the same operation here because all the keys are encrypted with the same key. So to convert these things, we need a server, that is computation server, and this conversion process is very much important for a research. Okay, so how we will do this conversion? So again, the data owner will give a request. Okay, so this may be an NGO, so the NGO will give a request to give me y1 and y2. Then what will happen? So yeah, please keep yourself on mute. Okay, so then what will happen? This y1, what will happen? So now the result is encrypted with the public key of computation server. Okay, so then this computation server, the data which is encrypted using the public key of computation server, it has to be re-encrypted with the public key of I. Then only the data owner I can decrypt it with his private key. Okay, so these things we have to do. So this, how we will perform this part and how we will perform this part. Okay, this is the challenge here. Okay, so I have shown here that this is the way in which we can solve. This is an abstract way. If we can solve this problem, then eventually the problem that we were discussing, that can be solved. So how we will tackle this problem, how we can convert each and every individual data owner's data encrypted with their own public key to a data which is encrypted with the public key of computation server. So how we will do that? So this is a challenging task in this problem, okay, in this domain. So again, after this they can solve. Okay, so see here, so in 2013 this Peter et al Okay, so what they did, they told that, okay, so they gave a proxy re-encryption scheme, which if you will see, then CSS has to send all these data to the computation server to convert it. Okay, so the cloud storage server has to send all this data to the computation server, okay, to perform this operation. Which operation? To convert data encrypted with the individual data owner's key to data encrypted with this proxy server's key. Okay, so this, so if there are n data owners participating in this event, then the order of communication is order of n. Okay, so this n ciphertext has to be sent to the computation server, then again computation server will give the result to the cloud storage server. This is the conversion part. Then again what will happen? Again, the cloud storage server, in consultation with computation server, they will compute this y1 and y2, and again here. So for this, okay, so this one also they need the intervention of the communication. Okay, so the cloud storage server has to send the data to the computation server, okay, to perform this. Then what will happen? In 2014, this Wang et al, they told that they gave a beautiful technique so that this process can be done here, no need to send the data to the computation server. So it was the beauty of their proxy re-encryption scheme, but unfortunately this part they couldn't do. Okay, the result part. Okay, so this part they couldn't do. Then we developed a proxy re-encryption scheme that I skipped earlier, that is SEPRE, and so that the both portion, okay, so in the CSS we can convert the data which is encrypted using individual data owner's key to the data encrypted with the public key of the user, public key of the computation server, and after the result is computed, the result which is encrypted with the public key of computation server, we can reconvert that to the result encrypted with the public key of individual data owner. Okay, so this part also cloud storage server can perform. Okay, but the computation needs both parties in this intervention. Okay, so this is happening in all the three schemes. Okay, but the big achievement of our scheme is the reduction in communication cost. Okay, so this is what I have highlighted here. See, that in the trans decryption phase, the total communication cost is nil. Okay, and rest all costs are same as per Peter et al. Okay, so this is same, and banana, this is Wang et al schemes. So this is same. Okay, and why there is a plus and star? Because we propose two schemes. Okay, we proposed two schemes. Just I will show you here. See, so we propose two schemes, that is SEMKC plus and SEMKC star. Why we propose two schemes? Because suppose there is a function which has 60 number of additions and number of multiplication is 10. So we have lot of addition operation in that function. Then we have to choose the SEMKC plus. Now suppose I have the number of addition is less than number of multiplication, then we have to choose SEMKC star. And we gave a formula also. If the number of addition operation is greater than 5 times number of multiplication operation minus 3 divided by 2, then you should go for SEMKC plus. Okay, and this is a comparison of total computation time. If you have number of multiplication operations in this direction and number of addition operation in this direction, so this is the total computation cost. Okay, so here you can see, if I have 60 number of multiplication, okay, then star is better than plus. But in the other hand, if I have 60 number of addition, then see, the plus is better than multiplication. So this is what we got from the result. And okay, So apart from this, we proved the security of the scheme also. Okay, and for that we analyzed a composition theorem, and I am not going to tell the details. So we analyzed with a real world, with the ideal world, and we found that our scheme is exactly same as the ideal world. But in the ideal world, there is a trusted third party whom we can give the data and they can perform the computation. But in the real world, we don't have a third party. So that's why we are taking a cloud storage server and a computation server to perform this operation. Okay, so this is a experimental result. Okay, so again, like number of addition is less than number of multiplication, so it is 5 and less than 15. Okay, so the red one is ours. Okay, so that you can see here, the our scheme performs better as the number of data owner increases. Okay, even in the presence of 10 data owners also our scheme performs better. Okay, that you can see. Okay, so this thing also I told. See, if I will do the computational cost comparison, like how many number of pairing operation, exponential. So these are the costly cryptographic operations. So that's why I have compared them with the different schemes. And if you will see, the total, the trans decryption phase has less computation cost in our scheme as compared to the previous schemes. Okay, so similarly the communication cost also I compared. See, the communication cost is nil here, and in the other scheme there is a communication cost. Okay, so this is also I have compared the data. Okay, so then I want to conclude here that okay, we want to protect our data using encryption, but at the same time what we have to do, we have to give the facility to the cloud storage server so that it can compute over the data. Okay, here I want to give some research direction also, like which we are currently I am working on that area. So okay, so the computation result returned by the cloud is okay, so we are getting that data. Now how can I verify that result, whether the result is correct or not? So simply the cloud storage server, they can give the data on a random basis, or the previously stored data they can give. But how we will verify the data is correct? Okay, so there is a beautiful concept that has arrived nowadays. This is blockchain. So is it helpful in solving this solution? Okay, so we are exploring that how we will verify the data using blockchain, and how we can see the verification result whether it is correct or not using blockchain. Okay, so just I want to touch here what is a blockchain. So blockchain is a decentralized information sharing platform. Okay, there is no central server here. Okay, so if I will tell what is the central server of blockchain, then there is no central server. Each and every individual node, they are contributing something to the blockchain network. Okay, so that's why it is a decentralized information sharing platform. What it enables? It enables multiple authorities who do not trust each other. Okay, it enables multiple authorities who do not trust each other to collaborate in a decision making. Okay, so which problem I gave you in the beginning of this lecture, the same problem is you can solve using blockchain. Okay, again, we can the multiple authorities, they can the multiple authorities who do not trust each other, they can solve a problem. Okay, by how they will solve a problem, like they will collaborate with each other, but they will not trust each other. Okay, so the same thing they can solve using blockchain. This blockchain technology, it has a lot of applications. Okay, so you can use this blockchain in I think 50 plus areas. Okay, in this, if you will go to this blog, then you can find how blockchain is useful in energy, how it is helpful in supply chain, how it is helpful in healthcare. In healthcare also it is very much useful. Okay, then how it is helpful in insurance, how it is helping in railway, so how it is helping in tourism, how it is helping in music. So lot of use cases are there for blockchain. You can really work in this area, and you can give a solution based on blockchain, how a problem related to specific area, either it may be supply chain or healthcare, so how you can solve that using blockchain. Okay, so this is an emerging area which you can work, and there is a open challenge now. Okay, and this is a I request all of you to participate in this lightweight cipher designing challenge. Okay, and this will, if your entries got selected, then you may get around 7.5 lakhs. Okay, so what you have to do is like it is a around 1 year challenge. So they will first teach you what is lightweight things, how to do lightweight ciphers, and what are the objectives, everything they will do. Okay, so registration opens from first week of September. So those who want to works in lightweight cipher design, they can work in this. Okay, so though we have many lightweight ciphers like present, Simon, rectangle, Clefia, so all these ciphers we have. Then again in stream we have trivium family, grain family, then HC120, salsa 20, so lot of uh, lightweight ciphers we have, but still they want more lighter cipher, and that's why they announced a challenge, and it is a Ministry of Electronics and IT initiative. So you can register in this, and this is the link where you will get this information. Okay, so these are some selected references, and if there is time, then I can show them some implementation in Amazon EC2. So over to you, Dr. Panda. So should I show a
Yes,
demo
no,
of 5 minutes?
no problem. No problem.
Okay, fine. Okay, thank you. So just I will show you one demo. Okay, so how we can store the data in Amazon EC2. Just bear with me for 5 minutes. So what we have to do is okay, so once you have logged in into Amazon, then your console will be like this. Okay, so then you directly go to the services and you create on EC2. Okay, so this I will tell you how to store the data in cloud storage, cloud EC2 instance. So that I will tell you. Go to click on launch instance. Okay, so you go to launch instance, then it will ask you what is the Amazon machine image that you want to take. Okay, so here I want to take this Ubuntu server. Okay, you can choose any other platform like Red Hat Linux or Amazon Linux, so you can use that. So what I will do, I will select this one, then this free version I am using. Okay, so if you can take other versions, but they will charge money from you. Okay, so see, it has variable ECUs and 2.5 gigahertz, 1 GB memory. So see, if we can get larger memory also, like 32 GB something, but we have to pay for that. Just for demo purpose I am using this. So then you click on configuration instance. Here nothing to do. Then add storage. So you can add storage. I have added a storage of 8 GB. Then you go to add tag. So this is not necessary now. So you go to then configure security group. I have a security group here, okay, which I have created already. So we can use that. Like what I am allowing here, I am allowing all the SSH traffic, and the protocol is TCP, and in the port range 22. And if you will give this source as 0.0.0, then any from any address you can access this. Okay, so suppose you want to give any restriction, you can give that IP addresses. Then it will ask you for review, and once you have reviewed, you can launch it. So see, then it will ask you choose a key pair. Okay, so you can either create a new key pair, okay, and you can download it from here. I have created one key pair and I have downloaded it. So what I am doing, so choose an existing key pair. Okay, and what is that existing key pair? That is Sanjeet demo. Okay, and I acknowledge that I have access to the selected private key. Then what I will do, I will go for launch instance. Okay, so that key is required. Okay, so that key is my private key, so I should not share that key with anybody. Then see, it is initializing the instance here. So let us wait for some time. Then what will happen? Okay, then what I will do, I will show you how I can store the data in my cloud instance. So here you can see the public address also they have given. So using this address we will access the data, that is ec2 hyphen this. Okay, so see, now the instance is running here. Now we can access the cloud storage. Okay, so let me copy this. Okay. So what I will do, so see, the public DNS, that is public domain name server, that address I am copying, and what I will do, I will give a command like ssh hyphen I, then this Sanjeet.demo. This is the key that we have downloaded. Okay, this is that key, and this key is available in my desktop. Okay, so and I am inside that desktop folder. Then what I wrote here, Ubuntu, because Ubuntu is the username, because I have created a Ubuntu machine. Okay, then at the rate the public address here I am giving. Okay, then you press enter. So then it will ask for, are you sure you want to continue the connection? Then you have to write yes here. Once you have given the access, then what will happen? You can access. See, which IP I am accessing now, 172.31.6 and 25. Okay, so this is the IP address and this is the same machine that I have created. Okay, because I am using Sanjeet demo.pem. This is the key I am using. So then what you can do, just see here, I am writing ls. So nothing is there. Now suppose I want to create a folder here like mkdir sanjet Sanjeet. See, if you will see, then Sanjeet folder is inside that cloud storage server. Okay, so now I will tell you how I can store a file here. If I will go inside Sanjeet, so see here, there is nothing inside Sanjeet. Okay, nothing. Okay, there is nothing inside Sanjeet, and I want to send a file here. Okay, so what is the file? So for that, what is the command? Command is this one. Okay, I will explain you what is this command. So I am exiting from that instance because I want to store the data from in that instance. So I pasted, see what I wrote, sudo. So this is the super user. Then you have to write scp. This is the command for secure copying. Then I used my secret key. Then this hello1.c. This file is present inside my desktop. So here you have to give the path of hello1.c. Then the same, okay, ubuntu at the rate the public address I am giving, then colon, this tilde symbolizes the root directory. Inside root I have a folder Sanjeet, so inside that folder you copy this thing. Okay, so then if you will press enter, it will ask for password, then you give the your system password, then the file will be copied. Just let us wait for some time. Okay, so it is taking some time. I did the same thing also earlier. Okay, so just to tell you, like the same thing just before this session. See, so I have stored the file here. So I wrote a command. Uh, okay, I wrote a similar command like this. Then after that I checked and hello1.c was there. Okay, so EC2, no, lost connection, why it is. So I think I'm not copying the same address, I guess. It is EC234. Okay, see the previous one I have copied here. Okay, so that's why it is giving an error. So I will just overwrite here. Actually, I have copied the command. Okay, so that's why it is creating a problem. So now it will happen, no problem. Okay, the same thing. Then what I will do, I will paste the address. Now it is perfect. Then give a colon, then tilde slash Sanjeet. So now it should work. Yes, it is working. I gave yes. Okay, hello1.cc. The file is getting transferred here. 100% it has been transferred. Now what I will do, I will log into my system. That is this command I will use. Now if you will see, okay, I have logged into my EC2 instance. So what I will do, I will see ls, see the Sanjeet folder is there. Now what I will do, I will go inside this Sanjeet folder, and if I will write ls, hello1.c is there. Okay, so like this we can transfer the file, and we can view the content of the file also. Okay, so hello1.c. So see the file I wrote, that it has include stdio.h. So to run this file, we have to install the command here. Okay. Okay. Then I am exiting from here. So this is how we will transfer a file, and the vice versa also you can do. You can get the file from the Amazon EC2 instance also. So those commands I wrote it here, so which I think it will be helpful for you. And yeah, so that's it. I want to discuss now, and okay, so thank you all for listening this much time, and thank you. Over to you, Dr. Panda.
So I request all the participants, if they want to ask any question, they can unmute or they can write in the chat box. So there are some questions. Just I am reading, sir. So
Yes.
please respond to that question.
Yeah. Sure.
So there is a question by Dr. Abdullah. The question is, I think that data in charge officer can tamper the data. So how can we overcome it?
Yeah, so see, data in charge officer, so like they can tamper the data, whatever you are telling, that is correct. If you are storing the data in plain text, okay, so the next thing is, if you are encrypting it, the data, they cannot know your data. But you are talking about the tampering of the data. So for that, what you have to do is, you have to simply uh, uh, take a hash of the data and do a integrity check while you are downloading the data. Okay, so you download the data, and then what you do, you check the integrity of the data. By that you can ensure whether the data is what it is intact or not. Okay, so data in charge officer, yes, they can tamper the data, but you have to detect it. So intentionally they if they are doing so, then you can detect it. Okay, so that is not a big deal. You can always do an integrity check. Okay. Yes.
Okay. Another question is by Dr. Priya, that are there any common functions that could be used in converting the individual encrypted data to homomorphic data?
Yeah, so there is no common function as such, but it is like we are telling whatever function you want to implement. In this talk, what I have explained, I used only the addition operation and multiplication operation. For that, I told, but there are, you can explore how somebody can do a like logarithm operation or exponential operation. You can explore that area also. It is not that any common function, you can any function you can implement. Okay, yeah.
Okay, any other question anybody want to ask? Another question by Dr. Vijay Kumar that how will check receive data is exact means the receiver data is same as the sender data. How we can check?
Yes, yes. Okay, so see, the for this thing, what you can do is, the first thing is like you can keep a track of your data, like how you will track the data. So one thing is, if you have encrypted the data and it is for only you, then you can only decrypt it. Suppose the data, I am using your public key and I am encrypting it, and if you and whenever you will get that data, you can only decrypt it. That is one thing. The second thing is, you can keep always a mac of the data. Okay, so if you will use any mac technique, so then what will happen, you can always check whether the data is same as or not. Okay, so what the sender will do, with his data, it will keep the mac of that data or hash of the data also he can keep. Now once you receive the data, you just with that data, you find the mac of the data or hash of the data, you compare both the hashes whether both are equal or not, so that you can come to an conclusion whether the data is it's same as the sender or not. Okay, so that you can check.
Any
Okay,
other question?
thank you.
Any other question? Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Sanjeet. Another question, okay, by Dr. Akash that what are the ways to handle collision while transferring data?
Okay, so what do you mean by collision? Can you please elaborate? Like,
Collision means whenever a same channel is used by multiple people.
okay, okay. So then channel assignment, something like that, they can do. So you can have a channel assignment problem, like so for a particular duration, this person will use the channel, for another particular session this person. So channel assignment solution may work in that case. Okay, so that is the thing.
So already some collision techniques are there in network like
Yes,
CSMS
yes,
and
yes. Yeah,
CSMSC. The same thing can
yeah,
be
yeah,
implemented.
yeah. Those things they can use. Yes, correct.
Okay. So thank you very much, Dr. Sanjeev.